Hi, and welcome to the Gamer Get Podcast. This is the podcast where we get gamers on to talk about games and the latest gaming news with a focus on Japan. This is episode 4. I'm your host Genki, a gamer living in Japan and making tweets and videos on games in Japan. And today we have a very special guest joining us for today's show. Please welcome, straight from New York City, one of the biggest Final Fantasy VII fans out there, and one half of the WhatsApp PlayStation podcast, and the best lisp on YouTube, the one and only Jay Bari. How's it going?
Hey, Genki man, I appreciate the intro. I love the fact that you got the best lisp in there because Genki is no deny. It's a fact that I do have the best lisp on YouTube, man. But I appreciate the invite, man. I'm just ready to have some fun, man. Here in the podcast,
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of you for a very long time. You've always been a
Oh,
very
thanks.
cool person. From the spaces that we always met, talking about Final Fantasy and talking about whatever about game lore and whatnot. And yeah, man, it's a pleasure being here. And I'm very, very excited to see the topics and very, very excited to talk about it, man. So let's get it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jay Bari. Yeah, I've been following you on Twitter because you're a big Final Fantasy VII fan, and I've
Yeah.
been watching you and Persona's content a lot on your WhatsApp PlayStation podcast. Yeah, so yeah, definitely check that out if you're a PlayStation fan. Definitely check out Jay Bari's podcast, the WhatsApp PlayStation podcast, and that's on
Appreciate it.
every Saturday, right, in the US.
Yeah, every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time here. It's funny too, the Final Fantasy 7 is like the birth of that podcast. Everything is like themed around it,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah. I like your
you know,
avatars. You got your.
yeah, avatars is Cloud and Cloud and Zack. So you know what I
Mm.
mean. The Final Fantasy 7 is a huge part of our lives there. What's up, PlayStation? So we got to pay homage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, and definitely follow Jay Barry on his YouTube channel as well. You got a YouTube as well, right? Yeah,
Yep,
you cover lots of Japanese games and Final Fantasy as well, and a lot of Japanese
absolutely.
RPGs. So yeah, definitely go check that out.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got a few theory videos coming out for Final Fantasy 7 and
Oh
Rebirth as
yes,
well, man. But we'll get to there. We'll get to there.
yeah, yeah. What's your YouTube? Where can they find you on the YouTube?
Oh yeah, my YouTube is Jay Bari. You should see me pretty much on PlayStation YouTube channel where I do play a lot of games on there. I upload
Mm-hmm.
a lot of boss fights and tutorials and stuff like that. Where now I'm just more focusing on like gameplay and giving my thoughts on a lot of the games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had like Foam Stars impressions, my Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest, Adventures of Die impressions, Final Fantasy reaction videos and whatnot. I will be doing like a playthrough of Final Fantasy 7 again before Rebirth comes out. So
Oh, nice.
stuff like that on my channel. A lot of boss fights, uploads, and all that stuff as well, man.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
appreciate the
awesome.
shout out.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Okay, so let's get into the main part of the show. To start the show, usually we like to talk to our guests, and in this part of the podcast, we like to hear about people's gamer origins to find out how people got into video games. So yeah, for Jay Bari, I would love to hear about like how you got into video games, and
Mhm.
especially like games from Japan.
Oh, absolutely, man. To be the first video game I actually played was on a Tiger handheld. I mean,
Oh,
coming up from Jamaica, 'cause that's where I'm originally born.
oh
We
nice.
up here to the United States, and my mom she got us the original Super Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo, but the original NES. And I've been playing a lot of those, Mario game. Mario is what really got me into gaming, that and Duck Hunts and whatnot. But when it came to like even though those games are Japanese like centric games like the Metroids and all that stuff, I wasn't thinking of it that way. I was still just a young little kid just playing whatever. But
Yeah.
when it came to like the Sega Genesis, when we got that, what got me into like my favorite genre was my first RPG I ever played, which was Ys 3,
Oh
back on the
wow.
Sega Genesis. And I know I had the game late because now that we're older and we got information and all that. The game, yeah, it came out in 91, but I was playing that like in 93, 94. My first time playing it, and I loved the hell out of that game, man. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. Where Ys is like one of my favorite franchises is due to that game, and when the remake or the remaster, whatever you want to call it, Alpha Flagana came out on the PSP. loved it. That made me love the game even more because what they done and the changes and all that stuff for the game. I loved it. But that game got me into playing other games, especially when I got my Super Nintendo. I got my Super Nintendo pretty late, like in '96. I got a Super Nintendo before a PlayStation. And that's when I got into Final Fantasy. That's when I got into Chrono Trigger, the Earthbound series and all that stuff. And I had a wonderful, amazing time, especially Chrono Trigger. That game almost made me cry, to be honest. I'm a young little kid. But yeah, Final Fantasy VI, my first Final Fantasy game, got me really excited. But when I started seeing them commercials of Final Fantasy VII, you know what happened, Genki. I was begging my mom. I was like, listen, we got to get this PlayStation. All my friends got a PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation. And it was a year later. No, it was still in the same year in '96, where it was around like Thanksgiving time where I got my PlayStation. We was playing like Crash and whatnot. But, you know, waiting for that Final Fantasy. When I got that Final Fantasy VII, it was over from there. A lot of games, I started replaying, recollecting myself, all the stuff that I missed. I got into like writing like strategy guides and guides from my friends with certain like games and RPGs. But I always had that love, especially being older now, getting ready to go in like high school and stuff. Always had that love for Japanese centric games, because those are like my favorite games that I played. I mean, when it comes to like my favorite franchises all the time, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, that's number one. Number two, always, and those games really just got me into playing a whole bunch of other games, you know what I mean, from Square Enix. I love Square Enix to death. You know, a lot of people look at me as a PlayStation guy, which I am, but it's for me, it's PlayStation, Square Enix. You know what I mean? It's always
Oh,
been
yeah.
my or Square Soft, however you want to say it, from back in the day. Always been my go-to, man. But yeah, that's what really got me into it, man. Like Ys 3 is really what got me into like Japanese, games, and going from there. Couldn't look back.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, that you got into the Yi series at such a young age. That's so
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. Because the
Yeah.
box art looked cool. It looked different. I was like, I'll play this, because before it was just all like beat 'em ups, Streets of Rage and Street Fighter and all that. But I sit down, play some Ys, and to this day, it's one of my favorite franchises. Ys, I love it
Yeah.
to death. I'm so upset that I can't play Nordics 10,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but
Hopefully
I
they.
just wait. I waited out.
Hopefully they sort to get the localization done soon for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and it's cool. Also, like you came from the Caribbean. Like my
yeah.
dad is also from the Caribbean. He was born in the Caribbean, and then he moved to England when he was like 10.
Okay.
Like he's from Grenada, so
Hmm.
I also got some Caribbean family. So it's cool to.
See, yo, you remember the first time I met you? You remember what I called
Oh
you?
yeah.
I was like, yo,
Oh, no.
Genki, this is my cousin. You know what I mean? Hey, you never know. You never know. Just let you know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. But yeah, that's awesome that you also into like similar games and stuff. And yeah, also like you said with you and Persona doing the What's Up PlayStation podcast, and like Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 7 was a big inspiration for that. Yeah,
Hmm.
for me, like Final Fantasy 7 Remake was like my inspiration to like starting the Twitter stuff and like getting on social
Nice.
media. Like after I got a PS5, then I started tweeting a lot, and yeah, I got into. Before that, I got Final Fantasy 7 Remake on release, and then I was like super
Hmm.
hyped for like the Yuffie DLC, and I was tweeting more and more, and then yeah, that's how I
Yeah, I remember
got
though. I
into.
remember those days because I remember seeing you come into the spaces and we was talking. When you got your chance, you said your thing and whatnot. But yeah, I remember those times. You being in the spaces early when that around the game came out, or when the integrated part was coming out with you videos.
Yeah, with the Yuffie stuff. Yeah, so yeah, we owe a lot to Final Fantasy series and Square Enix. So yeah, shout out to Square
Absolutely,
Enix.
absolutely.
So yeah, but thanks for your story there. That's really cool. Yeah, and like yeah, he's still very passionate about video games and the games from Japan as well, which I like to see.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's get into the news for this week. So we'll start off with story number one, which is about the Tokyo Game Show 2023. So yeah, I was lucky enough to attend the Tokyo Game Show this year. And yeah, it was a really cool show. And there was like so many people there, especially on the public days. It was like super crowded, like shoulder to shoulder people, like going through like the aisles and stuff. But yeah, it was really good to see so many people there, and I got to play a few games. I can just highlight a few. One I got to play was Deca Police, which is the new game from Level 5, and
Oh
yeah, that's
yes,
a
I'm
cool like
anticipating that, man.
yeah, that's like a cool RPG, but it has like these detective elements as well. Like puzzles, and like you have to like solve the crime, and then you can go into the battles. Yeah. What did you think of that game? Are you looking forward to that one, Jay Bari?
Oh, absolutely. When I saw it on the I think it was the Nintendo Direct the first time seeing it. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of Level 5. I love their artwork when it comes to their games. They
Mm.
usually make a lot of fun, engaging RPG games. I really love like the Nino Kuni series and whatnot. I didn't
Oh
get into
yeah.
the yokai. I think they did yokai watching all that stuff too, man. But I didn't get to that stuff. But the Deca Police, I love the art style. It looks really good. I seen like I think it was like a 4 minute like gameplay, and it was like, yeah, man, I can't wait to play this. Like Level 5, they don't miss with me personally. So
Mm.
very excited for this new franchise that they're making here, and it looks cool. I like the crime theme, suspend based type RPG. I like it a lot, man. It reminds me a little bit of like the Layton series a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely like the detective elements, somewhat
yeah,
like like Leighton. Yeah, and the presentation is really nice as well. Like they got like really dynamic camera angles, like anime style, like
stylistic, yeah.
graphics. Yeah, yeah, it looks really cool. That's nice. And another game I played was Sandland, which is the new game from Bandai Namco, based on the manga by Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really cool. Like I was super impressed. I was quite surprised because I thought it was just like a manga like tie-in game, but it actually seems more impressive. It's like got this open world that you can drive around in. It's kind of like Mad Max, kind of like post-apocalyptic open world, and then you can drive around in your car, and you can jump out and like beat up enemies, and then jump back in your car and drive around and beat up some dinosaurs. And yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, I was
Oh,
quite
nice.
surprised, and the graphics look super nice. Yeah, so I would recommend that one as well. It's coming on PlayStation and Xbox, I think. As yeah, just
So where did you like play like Deca Police and like Sandland? What like platform was like the Switch you played Deca Police on, and then you play Sandland like on PlayStation?
on everything was like most of the games at TGS are on PlayStation 5. I think that's just because like they want to show the game off in the best way possible. So like most of the demo units for like multi-platform games, they're usually running on PlayStation 5. So for Deca Police, they only had PS5. They didn't have any Switch versions.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
which is kind of a surprise because it was only shown at the Nintendo Direct so far, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much Nintendo was where it debuted on there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but at TGS they just had like I think they had like 8 like demo stations, and they were all PlayStation 5.
Okay.
And same with Sandland, it was all PlayStation 5.
Yeah, like Sandland, I don't really have like a background with it. I'm a big fan of Toriyama's work, but when I saw
hmm
this, I had to do some research. Like, I never seen this before.
hmm
This is like one of his early stuff.
Yeah,
That
I
he
haven't read
created.
it either. I didn't know that much about it either until like they dropped that trailer. I was like, oh, and I
Yeah,
went back and looked it up. But yeah, I think if you're a fan of like Akira Toriyama, especially his art style, then you'll like this one because like that they do the art style really well, like that
nice.
classic Dragon Ball Z art style. It looks really nice in this game. So yeah.
How's the combat with it? Is it like what's the
It's,
combat like? Is it actiony?
yeah, it's action based game. Like you just go out, mash on square, and you do like these melee attacks, like your classic action Japanese games. Then you can do like specials, but it's cool because like you can run around quite a lot, and it's like quite free. Like it's very open world, so you can like run around and like attack people from different angles or evade attacks and stuff like that. But yeah, it plays like a classic action Japanese action game. Like you just smash square and you do these melee combos, and then you press like
Okay.
triangle or R1 to do specials. You know, it's like a classic, classic
Copy.
Japanese
Gotcha.
action game. Yeah, yeah. But it's cool. Like you can get in tanks and cars and drive around and stuff like that. So yeah, it adds a bit more different elements to it. So that was
Definitely
cool.
on my radar. I definitely on my radar to see. I play a lot of Bandai games as well, so I'm normally a sucker for what they put out.
Yeah. I was also quite surprised that the production level is like higher than I thought it would be. So I think you would like it. And I also played a bit of Tekken 8. Yeah, I'm not that big on the fighting games, but yeah, this looked really impressive. Yeah, are you a big Tekken fan?
Yeah, I like Tekken a lot, man. I got to play the beta 2 times.
Oh, nice. You got into the.
Um, like the closed beta, yeah.
Mm.
Shout out to Wolfgang Mishima. He's the one that hooked me up with a code
Oh, sweet.
first time. But yeah, I'm really digging Tekken 8. I like how aggressive and how offensive it is. I was learning a new character that I never played in Tekken before. Was June. I never played her in the series, the prior games.
Oh,
I'm still
yeah.
kind of waiting for like my main to play, but a couple of my mains in there. Steve Fox, Leo, is in there, and I think I'm gonna rock with June as well. But if once Julia Chan gets in there, then I'm ready to ball. But yeah, I like taking it a lot, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah. What I played with would look really cool. I was really impressed with the graphics. Yeah, I played with Jun as well, and yeah, she looks really cool, and like the animations are super stylish. Even though I'm not
Hmm.
very good at fighting games, but yeah, I was impressed like just by like how much better it looks. So yeah, I'm really impressed with like the presentation and the graphics of this new Tekken game. I
Nice.
might pick it up later on.
Was you fighting against other people or was like a computer kind of thing?
Yeah, I was fighting with Ty from as a friend from the Famicast website. Yeah, but
Okay,
he's
nice.
like a pro. He enters fighting tournaments and stuff, and he was like using
Oh,
a
he
fight
was
stick.
practice on you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was just practicing on me. Yeah, because I just picked up the controller and he picked up because like you can choose at each demo station you can choose like the fight stick or controller, and
Okay.
yeah, he went with the fight stick. I just went with the controller because yeah, I think it's like I played Tekken in like PS2, PS3 days.
You're a beast when you're playing Tekken with a fight stick. Because I play with fight sticks for fighting games, but I can't play like 3D fighting games with a fight stick. I gotta use a controller.
Oh,
And yeah,
okay.
yeah, I can tell you, friend, he's a monster. He's a beast.
Yeah, he went straight for the fight stick. I was like, nope, I'm gonna go for the PlayStation 5 control. And I also got to check out Resident Evil 4 VR with the
Nice.
PlayStation VR 2. And yeah, I was quite impressed. It's very immersive and like it's much more scary and there's a lot more atmosphere in the game. And yeah, I was impressed with the the PlayStation VR 2. Um, yeah, I think it's a bit hard to move around sometimes. Like the camera is set and then you have to use the analog stick to like change where you're looking. But once it's
Okay.
set and then you're like shooting and stuff, the shooting felt really good and like really accurate. Like I felt like where I was shooting is where it was hitting. So yeah, I was really impressed with the VR and like the how immersive it was. But yeah, I think it's something you have to try to experience. But yeah, it felt really
Yeah, because
cool.
normally when it comes to like VR, like a first person shooter game like that, um, they
Mhm.
have the two controls where you have the ones where you use the right stick and it's like a directed kind of stationary movement, but it
Yeah,
also have the
yeah.
smooth movement like
Oh, okay.
like a regular game. So maybe that wasn't in the options, but you just like let me just give it a try. Let me see how it goes.
Yeah. I only had like 15 minutes with it or like 20 minutes. Yeah, they had the one
Where did
where
they
it's
put
like
you in
locked.
the beginning of the game? That
Yeah, they
village
just
area?
put you in like right at the beginning, like when you get out of the car and you approach
Ah,
the
gotcha.
village and you like go in the cabin and then the zombie jumps you. Yeah. But it looked really cool, like looking around the environments, like you go across this like wooden chain bridge and then you can look
Mhm.
down at the river and like yeah, it's really cool, like the depth and immersion. And it feels like much more scary because like you're in the environment. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah.
like typically when it comes to VR, all right, I'm like a scaredy cat when it comes to the scary games.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I would get RE4 VR due to I've played this game so much. Like I put like over 100 hours already in this game,
Oh
and
damn.
I know the ins and out of it. So I feel
Yeah.
like I'm comfortable. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
you'll
know
be
VR is a
comfortable.
different experience. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
even if you know like what's coming, like when you see it in real life,
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's like damn.
I'm gonna give it a
Yeah.
go though, but
Yeah, give it a go.
I know I'm being scared though.
Yeah, just try the shooting and like the knife throwing and that kind of stuff. It's like it feels really good. So yeah, maybe just give that a try. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
And also got to try a bit of Dragon's Dogma 2. And the demo was only like 15 minutes. And like the area was really open, like really open world and wide. So like a lot of the demo I was just running like running in the environment. But
Mhm,
when I got to the combat bits, like the combat felt really solid, and like yeah, you're working with like your teammates, and yeah, they were like supporting you and healing you, and yeah, I think yeah, it's a look really impressive, but I could tell it's still quite early in development, or I'm not sure
mhm.
when it will come out. It should be sooner than people expect because they already got the demo out, but I'm not sure when they still don't have a release date for it. But yeah, it felt
Yeah,
really
I
good.
was actually shocked. I'm actually shocked there's a demo because maybe I missed that tweet that you made for Dragon's Dogma. I know Persona's like a huge fan of this series. Like I haven't really gotten to it, but
Mm.
he tells me all the time like how Dragon's Dogma is like such a great game. Definitely get into it. But yeah, you saying that when you got into combat, the performance it was pretty good. It felt good or whatnot, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like the when you attack, it feels like really solid, and like the impacts feel good as well. Yeah, and like you can like pick up the pick up the little elves. Like the little elves were
Mhm.
shielding, you can just pick them up and like chuck them over your shoulder and then run around with them. It's quite funny. Like you can
Oh,
do stuff
nice.
like that. And yeah, the environments felt really big, and like the town felt really nice as well. Like when you go to the town, it feels really
Mhm.
interactive and like smooth as well. You can just transition from that open world into the towns really nicely. Yeah, it felt quite good. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I think
that's good to hear, man. Because like I said, Persona, he's dying to play this game, and that's
mm,
hearing you saying that stuff. That's really good sign. Because I
yeah,
thought it was going to be way out too. I was like, there's no way this is coming out probably even next year. But the fact that you playing the demo and it's playing pretty good, it's
hmm,
possibly to come out next year for sure.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully it will come out soon. Yeah, because Capcom was saying like they have this other big game that they expect to sell millions before March, so maybe it could be that. Like, because I don't see
Mm.
Monster Hunter like suddenly getting dropped like really soon, or like a new RE remake or anything like that. So maybe like they're hoping it can come out like early 2024, but we'll see.
Please, after Rebirth, please, Capcom.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, let's hope for that. Yeah, but that's cool. And yeah, I also want to talk about a bit about Sony at TGS because I know you're a big PlayStation fan, and
Yeah.
yeah, for me, like one point was like I wish Sony would have a big booth again at TGS because like after 2019, then they stopped doing shows or any shows anywhere
Hmm.
really. But it's a shame that they don't do it in Japan because like Japan is like their home, one of their home bases, and yeah, I felt they should do more at for TGS because like they used to do. The only thing they had this time was like a small indie area where they were showcasing like 5 or 6 indie games, but that was like in the indie area and it was quite small. And they had some like ads for like PSVR 2 and some like displays of Toro
Hmm.
the cat or something like that. But yeah, I wish they had like maybe showing off Spider-Man or maybe just some partnership games like the games that were in their state of play or something like that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, man. I made the same type of tweet as well, where I was like, yeah, I'm disappointed once again. PlayStation not at TGS. Normally, when I think about TGS, I always think about like PlayStation leading off TGS with their early morning show that I usually get up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to watch.
Mm,
And they present whatever games. Like I just feel like you are in the market to compete within this territory, but I feel like you're getting too complacent that you like have like a strong presence or whatnot. Just hearing you say like, majority of these games were on PS5 being
mm-hmm,
demoed and played. I feel like PlayStation is getting so complacent that, oh yeah, our partners and these games are being played on PlayStation. So that's us being at TGS. Nah,
mm,
I don't like that at all. Like I
yeah.
feel like you need to build that rapport back with the Japanese audience. I could be wrong about this, but this is how I feel, where you have a showcase, you present it like you did normally. Stop cutting costs under the Jim Ryan era or whatnot. But that stuff, you got to build a good rapport with people. Even if it's showing something over again, you never know. Somebody might have missed that. Somebody might have not known that, oh, this is game is coming to PlayStation as well. I don't know. It can always slip past people. But I don't like that PlayStation is in a market like Japan and not really competing for the audience eyes when it comes to celebrating gaming at Tokyo Game Show. And the fact that hearing that they only had like, an indie booth and some VR games. Meanwhile, you have Spider-Man 2 coming out, and you are having people come into headquarters to play the game, and you not have the demo there. Like what Square Enix did with Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, very, very smart. People,
Mm.
influencers, publications, they came in to the headquarters, they played the game, but you also had the demo there at TGS because this is your market. This is where your origins is from. You got to respect that, man. And I don't feel like PlayStation is respecting that for the last couple of years now.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment. Yeah, I think it would have been nice if they had show some more love to Japan. I know they still have a lot of presence and they're doing like third party deals, but yeah, you feel like some things they take it for granted. And yeah, as you said, like yeah, TGS, like most of the games there were played on PlayStation 5. So like even
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have a booth there, like the presence is like really big there in terms of like all the games are using PlayStation 5 consoles. Like most of like I would say like 80% of the games or like are PlayStation 5, like that
Yeah,
much in terms of the third party stuff. Um like cuz I think Nintendo like they have their own show, like they do Nintendo Lives. So like they're serving their market in their own way so that and traditionally they never attended TGS ever, Nintendo. So like
yeah,
that's understandable. But PlayStation, they used to attend, so it's really disappointing for me
yeah. They
as
had a
well.
they had a showcase all the time. They always
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
showcase every
yeah. They
TGS.
just, yeah, exactly. And now they just send Shuhei there, and he just hangs around the indie corner, and that's it. But
Just walks around. Yeah,
they don't really do anything that big like they used to, which is like a shame for me. But yeah, hopefully that can change and they can start to put more importance back on Japan.
they
But
need
we'll
that
see.
to change. They need that to change, man.
But yeah, I share the same sentiment as you, what you said. But yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and that's a good, really good point you made about like a rebirth. Like they had all these demo stations for rebirth, like over 100 demo stations for rebirth. So like lots
Wow,
of public could try it. But yeah, so it would be nice for Sony to do like a few demo stations for Spider-Man and get the hype up in Japan for
absolutely, man.
PlayStation and for Spider-Man. Yeah, that would have been
Like,
cool.
what are they thinking not having that game there? You had like
Hmm.
a month.
Yeah, it's a
TGS
month
the
out.
end of September. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
why not have that game? You was already spreading the news of people playing the game and giving their thoughts, within that week or whatnot, but not be there.
Hmm.
TGS is just a bummer. I didn't
Yeah.
like that at all.
But yeah, let's move on to story number two, which is our main story. And that's Final Fantasy
Ooh.
VII Rebirth at the Tokyo Game Show. And we got a lot of news after that as well. And yeah, I'm sure yeah, Jay Bari was super happy with all the news
Oh,
we got.
listen, Genki, man, you have me smiling ear to ear, man. Like everybody that was this like disclosing all the news, I was bookmarking, I was screenshotting because I know I was dropping videos. I was happy as hell.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
he
you for
get
you
your
guys
content.
dropping all the news and the interpretations and whatnot, man. Because that's really dope, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was super cool being there. I think like that was like the biggest game at TGS, like by far. Um, like the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and like on the public days, the lines got filled up super fast, and like the lines were going all the way out into like the outside areas as well, and like they had to
Sheesh.
start giving tickets, and like those tickets finished really soon. So like yeah, even though they had like 100 units and they were like shuffling in people, 100 people at a time even though they had that the the demand for the game was like super high, so that was really cool to see. And
Nice.
yeah, I was lucky because I got to go on like the business days, which is like for like industry people and press and stuff. And so I got to play like 3 times the demo. Like I just got in the
Nice.
line and then because it's 100 people, you don't have to wait so long. So I just waited like half an hour and then I could go in and play again. So I played 3 times. And like the demo is the TGS demo was like 25 minutes long. So maybe I played like a bit over an
That's a good
hour.
demo, man.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good
And I
demo.
had like 2 parts. I had the part with Cloud and Sephiroth, like the flashback scene when they're going to the Nibelheim reactor. And then this
Hmm.
other part of the demo was like the more open world part where you're playing as Cloud with the party, like Red, Barrett, Tifa Aerith, and that part's more open world. Like you can ride chocobos, and you're like going up to Junon or under Junon, and yeah, that bit you can see like how much the game has evolved from the first one with all the new elements and stuff. Yeah, did you see any of the demo footage at
Oh
all?
yeah, I watch a lot of footage on the game. I watch impressions as well. I even want you to reiterate, man, and
Mm?
how it felt to play as
Mm.
Sephiroth. I mean,
Oh,
talk to me, Genki man. Talk to
woo,
me.
woo, yes. Oh yeah, as soon as I could, I was like you press I think R2 or R1, and then you can like switch to Sephiroth. So I did that straight
Oh,
away.
word.
I was
I
like,
know
okay,
that's why that was at when they see, oh, you can play as Sephiroth. Oh man, people was
yeah,
jumping that line.
yeah. But yeah, Sephiroth felt super cool. Like he's got his normal melee attacks, but he has this special teleportation move. Like you press circle, and then you can teleport right up to the enemy, and then keep like meleeing them with the square button. So yeah, that was
Mhm.
awesome. Like, and yeah, he also has these cool specials. Like these special abilities as well, and the tag team abilities. But yeah, playing as him was super impressive and super cool. Yeah, that teleportation move is like the Phoenix Shift in Final Fantasy 16. So yeah, that felt really
Oh,
awesome.
so
So that
it's like a warp.
yeah, warp. Yeah. You just warp closer to
So
the enemy, and then you can
how
continue.
did the Masamune feel? Did it feel like you had the
Woo!
range? Like it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh man, Genki, you get me
Damn.
excited, man.
Oh yeah. Jay Bari, yeah, for real, man. Oh yeah, Sephiroth feels so good, and like yeah, the Masamune, yeah, you can really feel like yeah the range of it, and yeah, you can really feel like the combos and the animations for the attacks. They're like super clean,
Mhm.
and so nice, and like yeah, I was just like woo, yeah, just I just wanted to
What
play Sephiroth, even though like you want to try out some of
what a
Cloud's new
genius
moves.
way! What a genius way to like, because they say that's like the tutorial part, right, of the game.
Yeah, it looks like it.
What a genius way to learn. To like, I here's the new combat iteration stuff that's happening in Rebirth. You're learning it with like one of the most OP characters in the game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's dope, man.
Yeah, and he has like here's some cool special attacks as well. Yeah, and I played that part of the demo twice, and then I played the
Nice.
open world part one time. Yeah, so yeah, I really like that playing a sufferer. I went back to play again. But yeah, he was super cool, and like the tag team animations are really cool as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, this part of the demo was like kind of more like a Sony first party game, like the exploration part, kind of like an
Mm.
Uncharted or yeah, like or Last of Us kind of
Yep.
exploration.
I like that, man.
Yeah. You start off with Cloud, and of course, in the open world, you can only run around as Cloud, and Sephiroth's like following you behind. Oh, and Tifa was there as well, cowboy,
Yeah, she's
the cowboy
following,
suit Tifa, yeah, following
being
you.
the guide,
Yeah, and the extra Shinra
which is
officer.
really,
Oh, yeah, don't
no,
say.
I'm not going to spoil it for you guys who that person is, but
Yeah, but yeah, you guys
But
are
no,
really cool.
I think that's super cool. Having that as the opening, or even having that as a demo, it's just so smart to
Mhm.
have that, because that's going to draw a lot of eyes on the game. It's going to attract a lot of people, because it's the first time really in a mainline Final Fantasy game, not like the the Dissidia series or whatnot, that you actually controlling and using Sephiroth. So very
Mhm.
smart demo.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like, yeah, you're climbing up cliff faces, and like they got those yellow ledges like you see in Uncharted games or like Last of Us
Hmm.
that you can climb up. So yeah, that was not in the remake. And they got these like shimmy. There's a part you have to shimmy across this narrow ledge on a cliff, and there's little rocks on the wooden planks, and then as you walk past them, the rocks like fall down into the abyss. So it's like really
Nice.
like cinematic, and like they're going for that like kind of Sony cinematic feel, and they're adding like lots of little details like that as well. And like the map is
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it, because the flashback
mhm,
scene is such a integral part of the story, and
yeah,
just
yeah.
having that quality and all that stuff there, that retelling of that is
Mhm.
everything I wanted, like in a remake kind of thing, man. So very happy to hear that.
Oh yeah, one thing I noticed as well, Jabari, is like in the cutscenes, like because they're now like in HD and stuff. Like Cloud is like his mannerisms are like Zack's. So like if you played
Hmm.
the original, you'll know what that means. But yeah, it's really cool that they're putting like those kind of extra details in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that too. I was definitely like watching a lot of the demos and people posting up their gameplay and whatnot, and I definitely caught that. That's the way how Cloud is standing and how he's talking. I'm like, yeah, they're nailing that aspect
Yeah.
as well. Just giving more of that from the original. Well, loving it, man. I, it,
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this game.
Oh yeah, I tell you, I think yeah, you're probably like one of the most excited guys for this game on the internet.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Genki, I
That's why I
promise
had to
you
have you on
everything.
today.
When that day launches, man, I'm just gonna be. You're not even probably gonna see me on Twitter. I'm just gonna be sitting in that world and just taking it all in, breathing it all in, man. I'm telling
Oh
you,
yeah.
the open world aspect now. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
The performance. Talk to me. How was the performance in the open world aspect of the game from the other side of the demo?
Oh yeah, so yeah, the second part of the demo, like you're in a more open world and you're going to Junon or like under Junon, and that was really impressive because like straight away there's a chocobo in front of you and you can just jump on the chocobo, so that was really
Oh,
cool. And it's
nice.
like a black one with like this like red armor stuff on it. Yeah, and it was like whoa, it was like yeah, this is a lot different from remake, and like you can run around, and then as soon as you jump on your chocobo, like the whole team like jumps on chocobos as well. So that was really
Hmm.
cool, and just seeing red on the chocobo running around. Like I
Funny
spent
as
a few
that.
minutes just like watching red on the chocobo running around. I read 13.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But yeah, the open world areas, they're really cool. And like I like how the chocobo moves as well. Like to get on the chocobo, you can just walk into it. You don't have to press any buttons.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah, that was cool. Like in Final Fantasy 16, it's a bit tricky sometimes jumping on the chocobo because you have to press like the mount button to get on it
Yeah.
onto it. But here, like you just walk into the chocobo and it automatically jumps on the chocobo or mounts the chocobo. So that was really cool. And then like you just run around and you can do this like there's a jump button, but it's like a really small jump. It's not like Final Fantasy 16 where it's like a massive jump and you can like float. It's just like a small hop.
Oh,
You
so
just
there's a jump button with the chocobo.
yeah, yeah. But it's more like a hop
Okay,
button.
gotcha.
It's not. It doesn't do that do that much. It's maybe more for like traversing probably. Um,
It looks faster than the one from Final Fantasy 16 because the
mhm.
other like the big TGS demo with Hamaguchi where he was showing
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were moving pretty fast. They were speeding through. I was like, oh damn, this
yeah, yeah.
Chocobo is moving
I think I was in a more like in that Junon area. It's not as open world as like the area they showed in that
in the
other demo
grasslands.
and the grasslands demo. Yeah, so it's a bit more like paths you have to run down. So it's harder to get that much build up that much speed because like you're running down like all these the roads and stuff. But
I
yeah,
got
yeah, it's cool. Like you can like switch to running and
one question I want to ask you too with the open world demo that you played. Was Yuffie in your party?
oh no, not at that point. No, because like you go up to the demo ends at the part where you meet Yuffie, and that they like changed it up here. So yeah, so
Ah,
before that
gotcha.
she's not in
Okay.
your party. Yeah, because like that demo ends on the bit where you meet Yuffie. Yeah, which is a really cool how they changed it up at that part. Is yeah. But yeah, the open world part is really cool because like they have these new like items around like they you can craft stuff in this game, and there's a lot of crafting materials out in the open world, and it kind of reminds me of Forspoken, like the it has like these lines above the items that you can pick up, and you go
Yeah.
up to them and you just press I think it's triangle or something to pick them up. So yeah, there's a lot more items in the open world that you could use for like crafting and stuff compared to remake where it was just like potions and chests in the open world. But here's like there's a lot of items that you can pick up in the
Yeah,
open world.
remake was just yeah items, potions, and even when you play hard mode, you could even use them.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
how, how
'cause
how did you feel about the menus? You know what I mean? Like I
oh
know this
yeah,
is
yeah.
nerd talk we getting into now. But
Yeah, that's
how
why
did
I
you
got you
feel
on
about the
here.
menus? Did you like the new menus that they put in there?
Oh yeah, yeah. I really like the new menus. Like they're really impressive as well. And like they change angles depending on like your the menu you select, kind of like Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
Like if you choose the standard menu, it's like full body, but then if you go into like the item or like the equipment menu, it zooms in on their face and they like slowly move in like this idle animation while you're
mhm.
doing the options. Yeah, it's really cool. And like you get like all lined up on this I think the backgrounds depending on where you are in the game.
Nice. So it's real
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And they have like this set background for each area probably. And yeah, for the Junon area, it's like this like ruin kind of old style building in the background. like this yellow ruin building on the background. Yeah, that was cool. And the menus, yeah, they're really impressive, and like they're just enhancing on the remake menus, which I thought were really good. But they're
Yeah,
just making it
same.
more interactive and like more like real time in-engine graphics going on in the background.
I like that, man. Having a nice, upbeat, stylistic menu goes a long way, man. Especially if like it's intuitive and you can get to the things that you want to get to easily.
Hmm.
I thought remake menu was amazing, but when I seen this, I was like, oh wow, like
Hmm.
they're sprucing this thing up. They're making it
Yeah,
more
yeah,
lively. They're making it more interactive. I'm like, yeah, great,
yeah.
great job, great
Yeah,
job.
it's really good. Because yeah, as you said, like the remake menus are really good, but like they're all static images, right? But
Yeah,
here, like they're like
or is it that
in-game
one
models.
blue thing?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is really good. Like, yeah, and it's not just a blue background. It's like depends on where you are, the background will change up. Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, the
I
menus are
like it. I
really
like
good.
it.
Yeah, the chocobo can also sniff stuff, which is really cool. Like you can and dig up stuff as well. So like you can dig up treasures if you sniff, and then you can find the path. And yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
this
I'm doing
little
that for hours, Genki. we
find
sniffing
all the
and digging for
treasures.
hours. Man. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
And like
absolutely.
you can find there's a baby chocobo as well that guides you to like rest points. He's really cute, and he can also guide you to where you're supposed to go. And yeah, there's the rest benches, and they got new animations for the rest benches. Like Cloud puts down this cloth where he's sitting. Yeah, they added lots of little details to like the
You
open
got to
world
stay
areas.
clean. Got to stay clean. I'm with it. I like it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it.
it's cool.
Yo,
They got a lot
one
of
of the
cool
biggest
touches.
reveals. One of the biggest reveals. You can swim.
Oh yeah,
Yo,
I saw that.
they are
I
doing
didn't.
everything, man. Like
Yeah, that was crazy.
wow. So like when you was playing it, did you think like, oh, let me go over here and just let me see if we
No,
can
I
swim?
didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that.
That's what I'm saying. Cause you
That
probably
didn't
was
even
thinking
cross
it
my
like, oh,
mind.
it's not gonna be no swim in this game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then I saw that on like YouTube, and I was like, "What? You can do that?" I was like, "Damn." Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have to try it the next time. Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you like from the demos or what you saw?
Oh yeah, there's a tons of stuff I'm liking from the demo, from the battle system. I'm loving
Mm.
what they did with the synergy system.
Oh
Not
yeah,
only did
yeah.
they give you like a big synergy attack like they did with like intermission Yuffie DLC, but you also have like synergy like skill attacks where it doesn't take up ATB, but you're still like engaging within combat instead of that's a constant waiting, which I didn't mind because I like the good blend between the hybrid system of like action and turn based type ordeal. But for those people that want that action that constantly keep going with the combat, they have stuff there for you to keep the battle engaging and keep it going. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm digging it a lot. I'm liking the music as well.
Oh yeah,
From
the
what I've
music was so
seen,
good.
you know, you have the whatever area region music, and then it flows right into the battle music, and it flows right back. I'm like, oh man, that is like that is godlike to me. Like, you know, I'm a sucker for
Yeah.
that stuff right there, like music, menus, it builds more, ambiance for the game, man. So yeah, like everything that I'm seeing so far, the stuff that you have mentioned on Twitter is like everything I really wanted in the next iteration of this game. Like I feel like they're listening a lot to a lot of fan feedback. They're taking that stuff to heart. They're making sure that they have a proper, Final Fantasy game there. No bash on 16 because I love 16 a lot. But I feel like with Creative Business One here, they have faith in like having gamers figure stuff out where you don't have to oversimplify everything. Figure it out, have fun with the game, but you still have things in place where if you don't want to figure out, you can still have fun with the game. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like the systems that they got in place is for all gamers where you can be from the beginner to the advanced Final Fantasy fan where you're going to constantly go into these material bills and these class builds and constantly try to get the most what you can get out of the combat and all that, and I love that, man. And adding all the exploration stuff as well, I think that's super dope. Constantly giving people an incentive to explore or do this hunt or do stuff like stuff that I'm seeing. I was just like,
Mm.
I can definitely see myself living in this game, So I'm just happy from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Are you looking forward to like the mini games as well in the game?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Seeing the mini games back in the from the trailer,
Yeah, yeah.
got me really excited as well. There's certain mini game. I'm happy that they didn't bring the basket. I don't know if the basketball one is back, but that one,
Okay.
oh my god, you know what I mean? That was a pain. That was a pain for me when I was a kid. In the PS4 version, I got better at it. Where I was like, oh, I was getting a lot of the GP points or whatnot. But yeah, to seeing some of the mini games come back, I'm just super excited. I like the fact how they talk about this new card game
Oh
what's
yeah.
it called, Blood Phoenix or Blood King Queen, something like
Queen,
that.
yeah.
It was
Queen's Blood, I think that's
Queen's
what.
Blood. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. I like the fact that they have a new mini game in there, but they incorporating like narrative elements to it, like giving like a side quest kind of thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
one thing I did love in Intermission was the Fort Condor mini game.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
I
the
love that too.
hell out of
Yeah,
that,
that
man.
was really good.
And
Yeah.
seeing them play more within the world, like a new mini game within this world that everybody plays and whatnot. I'm really enjoying that. So can't wait to play it.
Yeah, that looks like it'll be like an expansion of like the Fort Condor kind of thing. So yeah, that looks like it'll be really cool. If you could like collect
Yeah.
cards around the world and then use them. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And build your decks up. Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
exciting.
We also heard that this new game will be around 40 to 50 hours, and that's just to complete the main story and nothing
Nice.
else. So that's quite improvement. I think remake took around 30 or 40 hours to do the main story. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much content in this, and they said like it'll be over 100 hours if you want to do everything. So that's really impressive as well.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see it from like digging up everything, creating whatever like items from the synthesis thing that they have there. I forgot what they call it. The mini games, the golden saucer. Yeah, I can see myself more than 100 hours. Even with remake, I have like over like almost 300 hours in the PS4 version and the
Oh damn.
PS5 version. I'm close to like 200. I love the hell out of it. I play that game like over and over
Oh
and try
yeah,
to
I
do
watched some
different
of
things.
your
And
videos, like your Whis or Vice
oh
combat
yeah, Weiss
videos.
boss fight. Yeah,
Wise, yeah, Wise boss fights. I watched some of those. Those were cool. That's a
yeah.
really
That
tough
that
battle,
was
but it's really good.
that was one boss battle. Like that wasn't my first time beating them. That was like my second time because I learned about a new like play
Mm.
style to beat him much faster and more efficient. And I was like, let me try it because I saw somebody talk about it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Let me change my build up and let me do it. And it took me a while, but I learned it, and I was like, oh, I got to upload this. Instead of my
Yeah,
first time I beat him, I was like, let me do it. Let me do the second one. It looks cooler. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I love stuff like that, man. And I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to, Rebirth with the battles and all the secret bosses and all that stuff in there. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very excited.
yeah. I really love the combat in like the remake game, or in these remake and rebirth, and like yeah, like that Weiss battle. It took me like 4 hours. I was like trying
Oh
repeatedly
yeah,
for like 4 hours just to beat him, and like that's
oh
how
yeah.
good
You're
the
you're not
combat
alone,
is.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm really looking forward to like the new combat, and it seems like they added this new element with those synergy abilities.
Hmm.
So like I think if you press R or L1, then you get a new menu pop up, which is different from remake. So like yeah, they're adding more complexity to the combat, and yeah, there's a lot more fun to be had.
As they should, man. That's where I said like I like the fact that they are trusting of the gamer for the gamer to figure things out. Where yeah, there's we added more layers to the combat, but I'm pretty sure gamers will figure it out, and when they figure it out, it's going to be even more fun. So
Hmm.
I'm loving that.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll check out your combat videos when in the future as
Oh
well.
yeah, I'm
That'd be
definitely
interesting.
gonna have like a combat videos, tutorial stuff. I got
Oh
a
yeah,
whole stuff planned for that game for
awesome.
real.
Yeah, and all the characters have like their different modes, like the strong mode, the strong
Hmm.
stance and stuff like that. So yeah, that's also cool. Like Sephiroth also has a different mode as well, and yeah, that was really awesome as well.
Oh,
Yeah, to
nice.
see. So yeah, they will have their own unique battle styles. So that's awesome. Yeah, and also, yeah, it looks like they're changing up the story a bit. Like they said, they'll keep all the main stuff. So like OG fans, don't worry, all the stuff you loved will be in the game, but it just might be switched up a bit. Like they're gonna make things a bit more unexpected and not exactly like flow how the original game goes. They already said they're changing up the order which you visit different locations, and
Mhm.
it also looks like the ending. They like Kitase said that what happens there is going to be a big surprise development. And yeah, he said he wants to hook people to get them interested and motivated to see what happens in the final part of the series. And what happens there is going to be like a big surprise. What did you think of the statement and how like they're changing things up a bit from the original?
Oh yeah, yeah. I listen. One of my favorite people in gaming is Yoshinori Kitase, and you met him, Genki. So
Oh yeah, I got to meet it. Yeah, that was
oh
funny.
yo,
Yeah, I was lucky. I was so
like I
lucky.
said, I was smiling ear to ear for you, man. I
Oh,
was like,
thanks, man.
Genki, you met
I was
Yoshinori
like,
Kitase.
what? Oh my god, that was
This is like
crazy.
my hero right here, man. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
you don't understand. It took all my strength to like not DM me. He was like, Genki, ask for this, ask for this. I was like, nah. I can't do that to you. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna fluster you like that. But I was like, yo, that was clean. That was lit, man.
Yeah, that was really lucky
But
because like I was just hanging around taking some videos of the Square Enix booth, and then he was just
mhm,
standing there like talking to someone. I was like, "Oh snap, he's there!" But and then I was like, I just ran over to him. I was like, "Oh, Akitasa-san, please come and take a picture." And he was like, "Okay, sure." And then like the nice lady took a picture for us, and then I just said goodbye because
nice,
I didn't want to bother him too much. But yeah, it was just
crazy,
really
crazy
nice
man.
that he was like really happy to take a picture with me. So that was awesome. Yeah, no, yeah. I hope you can
I love
visit
hearing that, man.
TGS in the future, and then you probably bump into Katase as well if you
Oh
if
yeah,
you
for sure,
hang
man.
around the Square Enix booth enough.
For sure, it's definitely like one of my bucket lists that I got to check off, man. To go to Japan in general and to go to TGS for sure. Like I got to, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But as far as the comments, yeah, I'm liking it. This is kind of in vein with like what I've been saying before. Even Rebirth was like even announced
Hmm.
as far as like how they can go with the story. I feel like there's going to be a lot of plot twists, but eventually everything is going to line up the same. Like they
Mm.
already given the hints and the nods where Aerith is trying her best to see how many ways that she can come up with, like not not to have her just die or sacrifice herself to save the planet, and she knows what's going to be happening. That's why she's so like she was so forward, like so forward to like destroy the harbingers of fate or destroy the the little ghost things there, because she wanted to change her destiny as far as like, no, there's probably another way or looking for a different way. But I
Hmm.
feel like they're going to play around with that, and with the clashing of all these worlds, Zach is definitely going to be a huge integral part as far as like trying to change, Air sacrificing herself
Mm.
so she can go into the live stream and well, not sacrificing herself, but she ended up dying, where she can control Holy to fend off Meteor. I feel like that fate is gonna happen, but with Rebirth, they're gonna try their best to like trick you that it's not gonna happen. So I even feel like when it comes to the second game, she is not gonna have that typical ending of herself, but in the next game, she will, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be unavoidable for the greater good, for the planet. This is what needs to happen, and somehow, some way, that person is going to, stab her and kill her and whatnot. Where she, is one with the live stream and can now use Holy to control it to stop the meteor. But we'll see, man. I got a lot of faith in these guys. These are the original creators of the game. They know what they're doing.
Hmm.
I think they did a wonderful job of remake where they kept you on your toes with a lot of that stuff. They did play with your mind as far as like, yeah, now you get to choose your destiny and what's going on. And everything I'm seeing so far, what they're saying, what I played, I'm loving it. So I have the utmost faith in them as far as delivering a product where new people and the old fans would love this second iteration of the remake.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel that as well. And yeah, I feel that trust in the development because, like, yeah, what they've done so far is really cool. And it'd be interesting to see, like, they got this new chapter with Zach, they said, like, because Zach will
Yeah,
be playable, I guess. 'Cause they haven't really said directly that he'll be playable, but we're kind of assuming there's, like, I think they said there's going to be a new section where we're playing as Zach.
it's
And
gonna
yeah, it'll
be
be
episodes
interesting
for
to
him.
see, yeah, a new episode with Zach. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays and what kind of story changes they're making with that as well.
And they kind of retconned Angeal's Buster blade or his Buster sword. Like Zack's Buster sword was much different with the gold trims at the handle part of the
Oh yeah, yeah, from the
but
original
now they
Crisis
just
Core,
made
yeah.
Yeah, they made everything now looking like how Cloud's, changes to the Buster Sword is now. That's like the default look now. So
Hmm.
I see on both of them. I think both of them is all on the box art, right?
Yeah,
And
both of them.
yeah, so you're definitely gonna be playing as Zack for sure, man. Which very popular character from what I'm hearing in Japan. So I think a lot of people are
Hmm.
excited about that.
Be excited to see the new like Zack gameplay as well. Yeah, that'd be cool. And so yeah, there's a lot of characters in this game so that you can play as. So that's really cool. And yeah, I really enjoyed playing as all the different characters. Yeah, Red 13. Quick shout out to Red 13, finally playable. And yeah, he felt really good as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I had one quick question about. Oh yeah, we got the official confirmation about how to pronounce Kate Sith's name, and yeah, it's
Hey.
yeah, that that kind of blew up on Twitter, and yeah, I guess in Japanese it's Ketoshi, like I think it's based on like some Gaelic word or
Mhm.
character, but yeah, they officially confirmed the English pronunciation, which is Kate Sith. Yeah, which is how I was pronouncing it, because like from the original one, because I originally played in the English, so I was pronouncing it like that anyway. So yeah, that's good. We got the confirmation for people who are confused.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I always said Kate Sith, from being a little kid to now. It's actually funny that I didn't learn about this whole debate and this back and forth between factions of how people said this character's name
Yeah,
until Twitter. I was
yeah,
like, what? Why are people getting at me, or why are people saying this about it's catchy and this and that? I was like, hey man, however it is, like even if it was like catchy, I feel like I'm so used to saying the character's name was Kate Sith. And the
yeah.
fact that today they came out, I was like, "Hey, just to
Okay.
let you guys know, this is how you pronounce the name." I was like, "Okay, we was right the whole time." So
I think it's good that they set things straight, and like hopefully the people stop arguing over it soon.
oh no, they're still arguing, Genki.
Oh
I've
right.
seen some tweets of like Square,
Oh
no, you're
man.
wrong. How can you mispronounce it now? I was like, yo, how could you tell the creators, the people that are making the game, how they
Yeah.
character is pronounced? Like they're the ones
Hmm.
that created this character. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
man, hopefully more people buy it due to this discourse.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true. Yeah, so but yeah, overall, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Rebirth. That's like my most anticipated game for next year, easily by far. And yeah, I just
Absolutely.
can't wait to play it. Yeah, I pre-ordered the collector's edition, so getting the 19 inches of Sephiroth. It's quite
Yeah.
pricey in Japan, but yeah, I I had to get it.
Pretty penny over there. Huh? Yeah, like I like normally like when I pre-order, like with Square Store, like they would charge you, then they refund you. I was like, no, I don't want no refund. I say, yo, charge it because I want to lock this in, you know. So it's locked in, it's good to go, and I can't wait to have my 19 inches of Sephiroth as well.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, pause.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about Rebirth? Yeah, I know you're looking forward to it a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I pretty much, the stuff, the same sentiments that you shared on Twitter, the same when I watch your impressions video, like I can feel the excitement, I can hear the excitement in your voice as well. And yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm very excited. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I'm kind of scared to watch the next trailer because I know how
Hmm.
Square Enix can be when it
Oh
comes to
yeah.
their trailers, but the excitement's just too much there. It's like there's no way I'm gonna, miss it. But yeah, I can't wait to play in this game, dive into it, create content for it, and just talk about it when we complete it, and give our thoughts and whatnot about it. So yeah, this is my
Hmm.
most anticipated game as well, for 2024. Right after that is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but
Mm.
yeah, they come out the same month. I'm gonna play it
Ooh.
Grand Blue to my heart's content because I'm a big fan of that series. But yeah, when that Final Fantasy hit, everything's getting shut down. Everything.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for coming on to talk about Rebirth, and yeah, I hope they can have you on again to talk more Rebirth in the future when the
Absolutely.
game comes out. Or yeah, I hope they'll drop that demo for the public like a month before release. I think they'll do
Mm.
that probably. So yeah, that'd be cool as well. Okay, so moving on to the next story, which is Jim Ryan retires as PlayStation boss in March 2024. And this is by Liam Croft at Push Square. Said
Mhm.
Sony has announced PlayStation boss Ryan will be retiring from his role in March 2024. And to help the transition, Hiroki Totoki will assume the position of chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment from next month. And Hiroki Totoki will also become the interim CEO from April next year. And Jim Ryan said, after 30 years, I have made the decision to retire from SEI in March 2024. I have relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners, but I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. I said, I will leave having been privileged to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of SEI. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredibly sensitive and supportive leader. So yeah, we got this kind of bombshell that Ryan will be retiring as the CEO of PlayStation, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Yeah, what were your thoughts on this news that we got?
Wow, wow. Man, what a bombshell right there, Genki, man. When I saw this, I was very, very shocked. You know what I mean? Because Jim Ryan has been pretty active, when it comes to the Activision, acquisition with Microsoft, when it comes to, announcing the portal, the PlayStation portal, talking about, the live service games and whatnot, and then to see him going to be retiring in 2024 was definitely a shocker. I didn't see that one coming for sure. I can understand it though. Working for a company for that much years and all that travel can take a toll on you. So, his reason is why he's retiring. I can definitely feel some of that because I don't travel that much, but the times where I do travel for work, it is exhausting, and I'm pretty sure it's not as long as what Jim Ryan been doing from going to America to Japan and Europe and back to America then to Asia. Then that could be taxing for all those years. But under his tenure, I do appreciate a lot of things that Jim Ryan has done, but I
Mm-hmm.
do also have a lot of cons with him as well. So I do appreciate that, he always incentivized and always kept PlayStation at the forefront of all of his plans of what he's trying to do. Even when it came to third party games or whatnot, PlayStation was the forefront. PlayStation was the front piece for wanting to have people play these games on his platform where you have DLC content that's exclusive, or time exclusive or whatnot. He went for a lot of these, third party games really, really strategically and smart. Some of the biggest third party games aligned themselves with PlayStation under him as well. And keeping PlayStation in the green. PlayStation has made the most revenue, most profit under his watch and his tenure, which is always great to see. My biggest issue with Jim Ryan is the fact of the lack of Japanese essence that PlayStation once had. Under his watch, we lost, studios like Japan Studios. And I felt like that Japanese essence went away from PlayStation where they focused more on a European centric type ordeal. I feel like, yeah, when it comes to him, he definitely have like those third party marketing deals set up with a lot of these Japanese developers, but that PlayStation first party stuff was just gone. That PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
like double A, smaller type build games were just gone because Jim is always trying to make sure that PlayStation is in the up and up when it comes to money. Also, I feel like when it comes to the rapport that is built from the PlayStation gamer, uh, I feel like some of that got lost under his watch as well because we didn't have things like the PlayStation experience. I don't know if you remember that Genki, where PlayStation for like about
Mm.
3 years, no, it was like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, whoa,
They
they
had
did that
these.
many?
Yeah, it was like it was from 2014,
Mm.
so it was like 4 years, 2014 to 2018, where they
Okay.
had these PlayStation experience events in like California and whatnot. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like people all over the world that was PlayStation fans all over the world coming to this one location to celebrate, to talk to the PlayStation developers and execs, and you just see them. Like, you know how you see you was just at TGS, you know, Katase-san was just right there, just chilling at the Square Enix booth. That's how it was for, like, the PlayStation centric, you know, developers and whatnot, was there at the showcase, and that stuff built a nice rapport between knowing the gamers and what they kind of feel and what they want, and knowing what the developers is going for and feel. 'Cause you get to have that personal interaction, that talk. You know, I met Sean Layden there, and
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
that's what landed that interview
Oh
with
yeah,
What's
yeah.
Up
Go
PlayStation
watch that
podcast.
interview on the Sean Layton interview. It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he remembered that talk. You know, he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, there's no way I could turn you guys down because you guys sent me the picture. I do remember talking, and I'm here." You know what I mean? So that stuff, I missed that from PlayStation. It felt like, you know, I know that's not the case, but it just felt like it. Like it was like a cold shoulder where we're not interacting with the fan base so much on PlayStation. I know that's not the fact, but it just feels like it on the Jim Ryan. But at the end of the day, I was very surprised how many people was celebrating, and, like, you know, dancing,
Mm.
parading somebody retiring like that. I was just like, it's very
Yeah,
disrespectful.
that was
It's
strange.
very tasteless. You know, like, yeah, Jim has done a lot for PlayStation, and I appreciate all that stuff. He's not perfect, but I do appreciate all the stuff that he have done for PlayStation, and all the games that he brung to PlayStation VR, all that stuff, VR2, all that stuff was amazing. So, you know, he definitely be missed for sure. You know what I mean? But we'll see under the new leadership. I think Hiroki Totoki, I think that's his name. If I mispronounce it, sorry. He still share the same sentiments with Jim Ryan as well when it comes to a lot of things. So we'll see how PlayStation goes from there. Under, you know, him just overseeing or watching until they get a new CEO.
Yeah, I thought it was strange like people were celebrating like a bit over celebrating like Jim Ryan. Yeah. I think yeah, first we have to give him like respect cuz like he was working at Sony for 30 years, which is kind of crazy to think about it. And like he's a big reason of like behind PlayStation's success, especially in Europe where they were like dominating for a long time, and even now they're doing really well. Like the brand is probably at the best place ever, or almost like, yeah, with like the game sales, and PlayStation 5 is doing really well across the world. So yeah, I think we people should give his props for that stuff for sure. Yeah, as you said, like yeah, there was a few points that also I didn't like about Jim Ryan. Like, yeah, as you said, like he wasn't as personable as some other CEOs, and yeah, his like focus on like more on the like Western markets and Europe, and taking away a lot from Japan. Also, I didn't like that as well. But yeah, overall, I think he did a good job. But yeah, there were some things I didn't like as well. I think Hiroki Totoki, he's like, I think he's more like a businessman, like a numbers guy. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he would do as like the boss of PlayStation. Like, he seems like this like calculated like mastermind, like business strategy dude. So yeah, I think he's quite different from Jim Ryan, but yeah, I think he works well for as a Sony boss, but or so, like COO. But I'm not sure if he could do that job like the PlayStation job. So yeah, I
Yeah, I
think they
believe
would
that
have to
PlayStation.
find
Yeah.
someone else.
Yeah, I wish they would find somebody very business savvy, but also can tap in with, like, being a gamer as well. You know, like I said,
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Ryan is very business savvy, but when it comes to the personal relationships with gamers and, you know, being a gamer, um, I think that's where he lacks. I think he had a good eye for what the gamer do like though, because under him,
Mm,
I really can't say when it comes to the output of games, other than like PlayStation now. I feel like we don't know what first party is doing, you know, with a lot of the studios. But when it comes to the output of games, he did a great job. PlayStation 5 is the best
mm,
lineup, you know, PlayStation ever had, like a launch lineup, you know, and PlayStation 4 ended really, really well. You know, a lot of that stuff was set up with Sean, but, you know, just transition and carrying that over, he did really, really well with that stuff. So I can't really say too many flaws with him other than those, you know, other aspects. I just felt like PlayStation, you know, even though they, you know, had Herman Host say things in the interviews about they're not forgetting their Japanese heritage and where they came from as PlayStation, I don't see that presented from a
mm.
first party standpoint, you
Yeah,
know,
same
but
here.
we'll see.
Yeah, about that, yeah. I also like I heard yeah, it's kind of a shame how they basically like bailed out of Japan, like mostly, apart from Polyphony Digital.
Tiffany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Team Asobi. But what I heard from about Team Asobi is like they were quite separate from Japan Studio in the first place, because they were more of connected to the PlayStation hardware and like more connected to the main body of Sony Interactive Entertainment, like because they were more like developing the tech demos for the hardware and that kind of stuff. They weren't really like as closely linked to like the Japan Studio part of Japan Studio, even though they were in the same building. So yeah, they completely
It was
like
like a
closed
different
off.
branch.
Yeah, yeah, different branch. Yeah, so they were kind of separate to Japan Studio, even though like they're working in the same building. They were working on like their own like tech demos and hardware projects, like as opposed to like the games that Japan Studio were making. So they completely closed down like the Japan side of things if you put it in that perspective. Yeah, and like yeah, it wasn't just like people everyone just shifted to Team Asobi. Like most of those people did unfortunately get laid off and like had to find new jobs or went to form their own studios. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
kind of sad that they like closed down Japan studio. Like I understand because like it was kind of like a bit of a mess. Like I think once some Japanese studios they get too set like traditional, like they become a bit rigid. So it's kind of hard to be flexible and create new things. Like, and I think that's what happened with Japan Studio. They just became quite rigid, and it was hard to create like new innovations and stuff like that. And they had some
Mhm.
probably had some issues with like producers or management and stuff like that. So that's probably why they decided to close it down. But I was kind of sad they couldn't like try to fix it or like set up something else in its place, like similar or like with a bit more better management. Yeah, that was a bit sad. So, but yeah, hopefully in the new leadership they can invest more in Japan again.
Yeah, for sure. Cause like even with like Team Asobi, I think they brought over like a European guy that's running the studio now. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
his name. It was someone like an N. But
Nicolas
yeah, I
Duche.
just
Yeah, his name's Nicolas
yeah, it was
Duche.
something like that. I think that
Yeah,
sound right.
he's
That
from
sound right.
France. Yeah, so yeah, and then he's the lead of the studio. Yeah, so it's already quite like Western focused already, and like the leaders
Exactly.
Westerner, and then focus on the more like Western type international games. Yeah.
And even with Team Asobi, like I like Team Asobi. I like the Astrobot Rescue
Mm.
Mission. I like
Yeah,
Astro
Astro's really good.
Playroom, but they don't produce so much. Like Japan Studio, one thing was good about them. Yeah, they co-developed like Bloodborne, and they
Mm.
did other like smaller like projects as well that keep
Yeah,
that thing
like
flowing.
everybody's golf with clap hands. They
Exactly.
they cut off that relationship. Yeah.
The gravity rushes, the necks. You know what I mean? Yeah, like those games don't receive super well, but it fills in a lot of the spaces between waiting for that triple A
Mm.
banger that everybody's waiting for PlayStation to drop.
Yeah, yeah. And after Spider Man, we might have a bit of a wait. It looks like at the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that would have been nice to have
And
those
what
smaller
what
games.
made me really upset is when because I love the hell out of the Last Guardian. Like that game made me tear up. I did that game like live. I live streamed that game, that entire playthrough, and like that game have like a special place. Like I really love the hell out of that game, and just hearing the news, like years later or whatnot, of them closing down, it's like, why, man? Like we need games like this, in my opinion. Because I feel like if people go back and play some of these games, like the Gravity Rushes, the Last Guardians, even Knack, as much as jokes people would tell, like those games, like it feels like a certain placeholder until waiting for those big AAA. Even though I think Last Guardian was a big AAA game, but kind of missed that with PlayStation, man.
Yeah, yeah. It would be nice to still have Ueda and all those other kind of cool games like Gen Design team back on under
Hmm.
PlayStation. But yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, hopefully they can. The new CEO will invest more in Japan as well. I hope so.
Absolutely. Like they're doing a great job third party wise,
Mm.
but I want to see that PlayStation essence with these games as well. With the budget
Mm.
that some of these Japanese developers or can get, like somebody like Kamiya.
Mm.
I feel like, hey, okay, PlayStation, Kamiya, he left Platinum Games. Let's start a studio from the ground up, PlayStation Studio, Japanese studio, and have him build his team and hire whoever you need to hire,
Mm.
and create a game from there. I
Yeah,
feel like they
that'd be
have more
awesome.
faith in that with like European and like American type developers
Mm.
rather than their own
Yeah,
territory
yeah.
where PlayStation known for.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, because they did give like developers like Jade Raymond like their own studio and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So they could do that with like a Kamiya or a Shinji Mikami kind of guy who recently left Tango Gameworks, or yeah, or
Hmm.
Kamiya who recently left Platinum. That would be cool if they did that. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, as you said. Okay, so moving on to story number 4. Just a quick one is the PlayStation Portal sells out in Japan. So yeah, we just got the pre-orders for the PlayStation Portal recently dropped in Japan and at the end of September, and yeah, the pre-orders sold out pretty much instantly at all the online pre-order outlets in Japan. Yeah, I got my pre-order in as well, which yeah, it suits my situation because like I got kids and we have to share TV sometimes. So like, yeah, I'll be able to play games like whenever I like around the house and stuff, and don't have to
Nice.
share the TV because like sometimes I'm playing games like Resident Evil 4 or like really violent games, and you don't want to put that
You don't want to
in
watch.
front of the kids.
I know the vibes.
So I think yeah, but also to keep in mind like PlayStation in Japan, there's like a big scalping issue. Like a lot of PlayStation 5s are getting sold in other Asian countries, bought in Japan and resold in other Asian countries. And we don't know how many they shipped to Japan, like how many PlayStation portals they gave a stock to Japan. But overall, yeah, it's good to see it's getting sold out everywhere, and yeah, it's actually like selling, and it seems to be doing well as a new peripheral for PlayStation. Yeah, what do you think about that news?
Yeah, when I saw the news, somebody actually tagged me in your tweet.
Oh,
So I
really?
was like, "Oh wow!" I said, "Oh, they must be onto something here," because from what I've seen over here, people is despising this product.
Oh,
Even though I
yeah,
see a
yeah.
whole bunch of people starting to like pre-order it now.
Mm,
Where for me, I was just always curious in it. I don't necessarily. I feel like
mm,
PlayStation should go all out and create a full-fledged handheld, but I do see the needs and a place for this product as somebody that does remote play, quiet from time to time, especially when I go into the office for work. I do see like, okay, there's a market here, whether it's popular or not, I don't know, but there's a market. And then seeing, some players like, an area like Japan and all those stores being sold out, to me, I was like, okay, they onto something, because I know when it comes to that market, when Japan market, they're more inclined to play the handhelds and the smaller products and the small devices. So I'm just like, okay, they on. I guess they're onto something. But I did see the other stuff where you said there's a huge like scalping issue in Japan. But regardless, I feel like it's still a good sign for the product that I feel like nobody had interest in, but
mm,
there's interest clearly there. So regardless, like I don't want to sound insensitive when I say that, but looking at it from a PlayStation standpoint, they're looking at it as a sale to them. Yeah, it's not going to like like a
mm-hmm.
somebody's house or whatnot, which it sucks and it's sorry. But to PlayStation, they probably looking at this is amazing. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
people buying the product. But
yeah,
it's still not even
it's getting
sold out
sold
here
out.
in the US. In the PlayStation Direct store, it's still able to pre-order.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's good that it's getting sold out in Japan. So yeah, that's a positive point
yeah,
that it's happening.
I saw a lot of people jump on your tweet. A lot of people trying to debunk you really quickly, even though you made it very clear, like, hey, take this with a grain of salt. He was like, well, it doesn't mean that. I was just like, listen, man, I'm just looking what my brother wrote. He put a whole bunch of stores that sold out in. That's a good sign to me for something that people
Yeah.
call dead on arrival. So
Yeah,
that's all
definitely
I'm
not
saying.
dead on arrival. Yeah, yeah. I think there was way too much like jumping on the hate bandwagon when like people. It's like the cool thing to do to dunk on the PlayStation Portal. But yeah, I think there is definitely a market for it, for like people like me. So yeah, yeah, I thought it was like people just jumping on the like hate bandwagon at the beginning, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to our next story. We touched on it briefly, but yeah, Hideki Kamiya announced that he's leaving Platinum Games. Yeah, it was quite a sudden announcement. Yeah, Platinum Games announced that we regret to announce that Hideki Kamiya will be leaving Platinum Games on October 12th, 2023. We are truly grateful for his creative ideas, leadership, and contribution to the growth of Platinum Games from our startup to this very day. And Kamiya said, as announced on the official Platinum Games Twitter account, I will be leaving Platinum Games on October 12th. This came after a lot of consideration based on my own beliefs and was by no means an easy decision to make. However, I feel that this outcome is for the best. I will continue to create my Hideki Kamiya way, and I hope you'll keep your eyes peeled. So yeah, the legendary developer Hideki Kamiya, who worked on games like Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry, Okami, Beautiful Joe, and Bayonetta. Yeah, he announced he's leaving Platinum Games. Yeah, what did you think of that news, Jay Bari?
Yeah, I was very shocked by this, and this is why I mentioned it earlier as well. Like, I'm a big fan of Kamiya. He got me blocked on Twitter due to
Oh, he got you
people.
blocked. No, what
Yeah,
happened?
because Kamiya, he don't
Oh,
play
you quote
around, and
tweeted him,
people. No, I didn't even quote tweet him. I don't really tweet
or
at
you tagged
developers
him.
or whatnot,
Okay.
but no, people tagged me in something that they was
Oh,
trying to criticize him for, and
oh no.
he ended up blocking everybody that was tagged in it,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's how I got blocked by him. But
I see.
yeah, I'm a big fan of his work because Devil May Cry is like one of my favorite franchises in gaming, and he's started Devil May Cry. Big fan of the first game. I know he didn't work on the second game, he didn't work on the third game and whatnot, but he was a starting point off that character and how Dante is, even though they drastically changed it from the second game. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Bayonetta as well. I'm a huge fan of Bayonetta. I like Bayonetta series. Bayonetta 2 is like one of my favorite action games. I love the hell out of that game. I know he did the first one, but it seems like the same thing. He's a starting point of a lot of those franchises. So yeah, seeing Platinum lose somebody like that, big staple developer or director for them, is huge. And I'm just curious to see, like, is is he gonna create a new studio? Somebody gonna pick him up because yeah, as you mentioned, Shinji um uh
Shinji Mikami,
uh
yeah.
Mikami,
Mikami.
yeah. I think they worked together or something like that when it came to the Resident Evil series and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know, they can link up again, um,
Mm. Yeah, that would
in the
be
future.
the
So
most ideal situation. That'd be cool if they linked up. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. And personally, as a PlayStation preferred guy, I would definitely love to see PlayStation pick them up. But yeah,
Mm.
this was another shocker, man. This was another shocker. It was like Kamaya, Jim Ryan. I was like, whoa, what is going on in the industry? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But hey,
wild times.
things happens.
Oh yeah, thanks for that, Jay Bari. And yeah, one last story quickly. Is yeah, we also got some news about The Last of Us multiplayer. Apparently, it's being put on ice, according to Kotaku sources. And yeah, this is from Ethan Gutch on Kotaku. And yeah, he reported that some contract workers for The Last of Us had been laid off, or the contracts ended early. At least 25 developers were part of the downsizing, it said. And that we also got a source that said to Kotaku, talking about The Last of Us multiplayer game, while not completely cancelled, is basically on ice at this point. Yeah. So, what do you think about that news, Jay Barry?
Sad news, man. Just seeing the excitement of when this game got announced that they're doing a multiplayer game or whatnot, to the state that we never even seen like an update for it, like a video update. We saw concept art and promises of letting us know more information about it that never came, that always got delayed. It is just not a good look for Naughty Dog or PlayStation right now. The thing that sucks about this news is that I feel like articles like this can be handled and controlled by PlayStation. The reason why it looks so bad is because it's coming from a third party source talking about internal stuff that's going on. Like, if I feel like with Naughty Dog had the respect for their gamers like they say they do, this information would have come out outright. They did that with the last, before the summer hit. I think they hit you with a like a article or one of those little tweet things that came out, said, the project is being delayed, but we're working hard. Control that news, keep us updated rather than having Kotaku or whatever news source control that. You know what I mean? That's not a good look, in my
Mm.
opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know when we're going to see this game. When I see something put on ice, that does that's
Yeah,
you're almost there to canceling it. That's what it means to me. Like you might not say cancel, but you're pretty close
yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
That's what it sounds like.
it's not a good look.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. Like, yeah, it sounds like they're having troubles with the development of that game. From like the reports from Jason and Schreier about Bungie looking at it and saying, "Yeah, this is they have to change some things," and then this report saying it's on ice. So, but hopefully, yeah, they can fix it up or somehow, yeah, I don't know, or pivot to focus more on their single player games that they've got working on. But yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Jay Bari. Okay, yeah. So in this part, we'll talk about what we've been playing. So, Jay Bari, is there any games you've been playing recently?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been dipping and dodging in a lot of games, man. Ethernight's is a game that I've been playing.
Mm.
Looking to complete that really soon. I'm very very impressed with that game that's created by one person. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, amazing game. Not Street Fighter. Yeah, Street Fighter 5 actually. I mean 6. I'm actually playing that, trying out Aki, Resident Evil 4, playing the Separate Ways DLC,
Nice.
Dragon Quest, Adventures of Die. I've been playing that, got about like 12, 13 hours in that game. And yeah,
Mm.
just played, Foam Stars beta, which I really enjoyed. I dropped a, video giving my, thoughts on Adventures of Die and Foam Stars.
Oh,
Those are
nice.
live right now. So yeah, I've been dipping and dodging in some games, Genki, man. Just waiting for that Spider-Man, but we're gonna complete some of these stuff before Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. See you playing a lot of games at the moment. Yeah, I tried out the Foam Stars, the beta that was on the weekend, and yeah, it
Mm,
seems quite a fun, and it was quite fun game. Yeah, I had some like connection issues like with the matchmaking, but yeah, overall it seemed quite fun to do the matches and
yeah.
stuff. And yeah, I also like got oh yeah, shout out to Square Enix for providing the review code of Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai. Yeah, I've also been playing that a bit as well, and yeah, I
Nice.
like it. I like the combat and stuff. I think like there's a lot of like cutscenes, like slideshow
Yeah.
explanation
Hmm.
of the anime. I think it's like taken straight from the anime, and
Yep.
yeah, I wish they didn't have so many of those in the game. Maybe they could like yeah have their own cutscenes like in the in-game engine, or like yeah even like show the anime without like just it's just stills from the anime with like narration over it.
Hmm.
But yeah, but the gameplay was quite fun. Enjoying that as well. Did you watch the Dragon Quest Die anime?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the anime. I'm a big fan of the manga.
Oh, okay,
When I
nice.
watched the anime the first time, I was just watching the subtitles because they didn't have the dub. Yet. That got me into reading the manga. Then recently, I just rewatched everything in English dub, and yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Dragon Quest. So I like Dai a lot. I think he's a super OP character. Like the game is really really fun. I just wish a lot of the stuff that Dai is doing within the anime or the manga, they presented that here in the demo. I mean, in the game.
Mm,
That's like even like on the movement side of things, they do have the abilities and all that stuff there, but the movement that feel a little bit grounded to me. But
yeah,
overall, I am having a lot of fun with the game. I think now that I unlock like Honku, oh man, like now I'm like having really really fun. 'Cause Hyunko is like a beast in this game, so um, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it for real. But they do have some glaring issues though. And you said one of them, how they're retelling the story. Yeah, they need to catch up with the times. With that, like that is very PS3,
mm.
days of telling the story.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jay Barry, for being on the show today. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and yeah, a lot of Japanese games and like how you got into games. It was really fun. Yeah, and I really appreciate your work on the WUPS podcast and your YouTube channel with the gameplay and stuff. So yeah, definitely go check out Jay Barry on his
Thank you.
website. Yeah. So yeah, please let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You can find me on Twitter, jbari underscore on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube, jbari, but you can mostly find me on What's Up PlayStation podcast. That is What's Up PlayStation on YouTube, where we do a PlayStation centric podcast with my brother from another mother, gaming with Persona. A big shout out
Mm.
to Persona, man.
Yeah,
Where
shout out to
for
Persona.
years we was talking about doing something like this, and we finally did it. Where
Awesome.
we just wanted to focus on PlayStation, talk about PlayStation. So if you guys are interested in stuff like that, come on through and show some love there. And trust me, we don't bring up other platforms. you know, we keep it very PlayStation there. So appreciate it. Appreciate the invite though, Genki man. It's always a pleasure talking to you and chopping it up with you, man. Like I said, I love the passion that you have for video games and the Japanese culture and Japanese games. And I like how authentic you are as well when it comes to your approach and how you deliver your content, man. I think you're doing a great job. I love the fact that you're doing more YouTube as well. And yeah, I just wish you nothing but the best, man. So
Oh yeah, thanks
thank
so
you
much,
for the
Jay
invite.
Bari. Yeah, same to you, man. Yeah, all the best with everything. Yeah, you guys are doing an amazing job, and yeah, really entertaining and awesome content. So yeah, definitely go check out Jay Bari and the What's Up PlayStation podcast. Okay,
Appreciate it.
thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the Gamer Get podcast. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know. You can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/Genki Gamer. That's patreon.com/GENKIGAMER to get future episodes of the podcast one day early, and also to get your questions answered on the show. Thanks so much for being on the show, and thanks so much for your time, Jay Bari. Yeah, and thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.